Hi everybody, it's Lydia here. So today I'm doing a review of Station 11 by Emily St. John Mandel. I know, pretty much every single person on BookTube has already reviewed and read this book, but what can I say, I'm just really late to it. There we go. I read this book on Kindle, so I don't have a copy of the book, so I have a beautiful screen cap of the cover. Ding! So if there is anyone out there who hasn't read this book yet, which I'm seriously doubting because I think I'm so late to it, this is a book which is set in a post-apocalyptic world. And before you say that this genre is completely done over, well done too many times, this book kind of really takes the post-apocalyptic genre and just changes it, and it's completely different to any other post-apocalyptic book I've certainly ever read or ever seen on TV, put it that way. So the story opens with a performance of King Lear in which the lead actor has a heart attack, and this sounds like a totally random start to a post-apocalyptic story, I know, but I promise you it does all come together. And basically the whole kind of premise behind this book, without giving anything away, is that survival is insufficient. That's sort of a phrase that runs throughout the entire book, and it's really for me what makes this book so awesome. So as with any post-apocalyptic book or film or TV show or comic book or whatever, there is everything that you would expect. You've got the scavenging and the people wanting to kill each other for a piece of metal or something like that, and it is chock-a-block of people wandering around through desolate cities and along highways of stranded, broken down cars. That is all in there, so if that is what you love about post-apocalyptic books, then do not fear, you can still find that in this book. The difference with it, however, is that is just the setting, and I think maybe that's one thing that I always have a problem with post-apocalyptic books, is that they are always very much depressing. Put it that way, they're just so depressing. People are dying left, right and centre, and it's just really drab and dull, and it just gets, you know, you don't want to read that. Or from my point of view, once you've read a few of those kind of books or seen a few of those films, TV shows, etc., it just gets a bit dull, doesn't it? You know, you want something a bit more enjoyable, and this book really gives you that. This book isn't so much about the situation that it is the end of the world or that all this crap has happened. It's more about these people wanting to live and more than just survive, basically. So even though this whole book is set in a world where there's been a massive epidemic and 99% of the world's population has died, even though that's kind of where the crux of the book is set and that's where the story is moving along, there is a lot of scenes from pre-epidemic, and these are all linked together, and this is really what made this book so great for me, is that it is so cleverly written, because there are multiple different characters, there are multiple different kind of plot arcs going on, and you sort of sit there and think, how on earth is this relatable to that character, or what is the point of me hearing about this character in relation to the rest of the story, you know, how is this going to work? And I'm not going to lie, for the first sort of quarter of this book I wasn't really sure about it because of that, because it would go from one character that I was really enjoying and then it would suddenly slip back to a kind of flashback in a way about another character that didn't really seem to have any relation with the previous character whatsoever, and I felt it jarred a bit, and that is probably, I mean, I gave this book 4 stars, and that's pretty much the main reason, because I did feel that for the first sort of quarter to half of the book a lot of things were going on, and ultimately they ended up making sense and you understand why she wrote about those scenes, but at the beginning it just felt a bit, why do I need to know this? And it was just a bit annoying. I didn't enjoy those scenes, so that's why I gave it 4 stars and not 5. But that is literally a tiny thing in the entire book, and once I kind of understood where it was going and realised that it was all going to connect up eventually, I was fine with it and I got used to it and it was great. I will say, however, there are 4 or 5 different kind of strands that go throughout this book, and there were maybe 2 that I didn't feel overly satisfied with the conclusion to. I'm trying to keep this totally spoiler free, which is why I'm not explaining who they are and everything, but I did feel that, yeah, there were a couple that I would have liked to have heard more of a resolution from. It wasn't anything major, and I don't know what I would have wanted as a resolution, but there was maybe one, maybe two that I kind of felt just sort of trailed off and didn't really link in so much with the other strands. Overall, however, I did really enjoy this book, and a lot of that was down to the writing style. I was actually really interested when I came to the end of it to see, I was reading through all the kind of reviews from other authors in the back of the Kindle book, and there was a comment from Erin Morgenstern, who wrote The Night Circus, and I thought it was really interesting that she commented because there was a similarity in style between those two, just in the sort of the beauty of the writing. It was very similar, and it did remind me a lot of The Night Circus, even though it's a completely different plot, just because of that writing style, and I enjoyed it more than the Night Circus because there was more of a plot to it. It was just very lyrically and beautifully written, and it really mirrored the plot and the whole idea of survival being insufficient, that she'd written this book and she'd clearly taken a lot of care towards how she was going to write it and making it just an enjoyable read, and it really worked. It was really good. I enjoyed it. Finally, I just want to say there was a really nice quote in the back of the book in the author's reviews section, and I can't remember who said it. I will have a look and post it here, but it was a quote that was like, "This book makes you nostalgic for a world that we still live in," and it's so true, because so much of this book is about the characters looking back to the old world and thinking, oh, I wish we still had that, and oh, I wish we still could do that, and you do find yourself kind of really appreciating the world that we have, and just small little things, and that is really why I enjoyed this book, because it really was just something that really treasured things that, yes, in the grand scheme of things, they're not overly important. Like, there is obviously at the heart of this book, there is this travelling theatre company and orchestra, which in an apocalypse you wouldn't really think music and theatre are gonna be the sort of at the top of people's sort of we must save this list, and that is why I liked it, because it was sort of like, you know what, the world's gone to pot, everything's terrible, people are dying left, right and centre, but that doesn't mean we should forget about these beautiful things. And I just really liked that part of the book, and yeah, it spoke to the romantic in me, even if it's completely unrealistic. Anyway, that's it for today's review. Let me know below what you thought of it. This has been a bit of a kind of mishmashy review, because it was one of those books that I just had a lot of feelings about but find it difficult to express them, but there we go. What can you do? I hope you understood what I was trying to say about this book. If you didn't, you can go check out my review, which I will link in the description below. But that's it for today. I will see you again tomorrow for another video, but until then, I hope you have a good day, and bye!